Welcome to Kids Express.
Join us as we see kids express their love for Jesus
while developing their character.
on Kids Express!
Welcome to 3ABN Kids Express. Today we're going to meet two sisters with a knack for bravely sharing the word of Jesus through glow tracks. I'm Aunt Francine.
And I am Angelica. Can you guess where in the world today's guests come from? Can you identify what state this is? If you said New York, you would be correct. Let's welcome Faith and Mariah.
Hi! Hi!
We're so glad you're with us, Faith and Mariah. Thank you, all the way from the state of New York. So tell us a little bit about the state of New York.
Well, it's known for Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And there's three falls. And the name of the three falls is American Falls.
Mm-hmm.
The
Bridal Veil.
Bridal Veil and Horseshoe Falls.
That's in the Canadian side, you're right. I've never been to Niagara Falls. I'd like to do that. I know that's one of my things to do that I really want to go see. Have you ever been there?
Yes.
Me too.
Oh, you have? So I really do need.
It's been really fun.
Yes, and
Yes.
it's amazing how huge it is. I hear it's very big, and a lot of people go for their honeymoons there. I know my mom did.
When I was little, like a baby, we went in the ship. And when I was, I remember 6 or 7, I went just to the surface to see the waterfalls with my cousins.
Mm-hmm. Anything else about?
I was in the ship too.
Oh, wow.
Me too.
So anything else about New York that you want to tell us?
Well, it's known for yogurt and apples.
You're right, and we've got some dessert here. This famous snack for New York is yogurt, and we can also have vegan yogurt. And you've got some there, and I like how you have the apple because we talk about the Big Apple of New York, don't we? So you have apples on top of your yogurt. I can't wait to have this in a little bit. That's going to be scrumptious. So I like Kids Express because you both are doing something phenomenal. And I know we shared a little bit about it in our introduction, but you like sharing glow tracks. Tell us a little bit about that and where you go and how you do that.
Well, sometimes when we're in line, I usually ask my mom if it's okay to give a track to the cash register.
Okay.
Cashier, I mean.
And the cashier. And where else do you give some of these glow tracks?
I give it when we're in parking lots and the store, and I give it sometimes when we go shopping.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Faith?
I give tracts to people when we go shopping.
You go. Is there one story that really stands out to you?
Well, one time a lady complained about receiving a tract, but most times people are really happy to receive a tract.
Yeah, because you're giving them some kind of hope and you're letting them know that you care. Yeah. Have you had any challenges when you're giving out these glow tracts? Or tracks like that?
No.
No?
No, that was that what happened. It didn't really happen frequently.
Yeah, frequently. So sometimes you're saying some people don't want the track is what you're saying. And sometimes they're very happy and they have a smile on their face. What do you like the best about giving out some tracts to people?
The best I like about giving out tracts is about people are a lot of receptive.
Very receptive.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Faith?
Sometimes they cry. Like one time, there was a lady and Mariah gave her a tract, and then she started crying.
And why was she crying? Do you know why?
Because maybe she doesn't get things from strangers, and her heart was touched that somebody gave her something that she doesn't even know.
Is that what you were going to say, Faith? Yeah.
Yes.
And I know both of you are thankful that you can do something small like that. It just lets them know that you care about them. And they can read something about the promises and hopes of Jesus, can't they? Did you have a question for them, Angelica?
Yes.
Yes.
So, do you ever experience like times in where they start grumbling about it?
Well, that time when the lady complained about it was actually the last time. Some people, when we go canvassing,
Mm-hmm.
like one person slammed the door in our faces.
Oh, no.
And then one lady, we gave her a tract when we were canvassing, and then she said, "You woke me up because I was taking a nap." And then when my sister gave her the flyer for the health festival,
Mm-hmm.
she lit up.
Oh, wow.
And she was emotional, and then she said, "I don't see your smile," and then I smiled, and then she said, "Oh, there it is."
There it is. So she had to remind you to smile too. So for those of you that don't know what canvassing is, sometimes when you go door to door, and sometimes you're giving something free, and other times you're selling books to help witness for other people, and you sell these books that also can be a witness for God, right? And that's what you were doing?
Yes.
Yeah, very powerful. And we can all do something even as small as a glow track or a little track, or sometimes it's even your guide. Maybe some of us read after Sabbath school, and you can pass them out to your friends or other people that may enjoy reading them. So I'd like Kids Express also because we talk about developing our character. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes I realize I want to focus on this for a few months, and then I realize I want to focus on something else. So I'm going to ask Faith this time first. Would that be okay, Faith? I'm going to ask you, what kind of character development do you want to improve on and be more like Jesus?
I want to improve on to be more kind and outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to improve on being more smart.
Oh, I like how you want to be a little more smart so you can help other people. Then that's why you want to be outgoing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how about you, Mariah?
I want God to help me be more obedient, kind, and be more creative.
Be more creative. And I know before you also mentioned something a little bit, and it kind of falls into all of those, but serving selflessly. You know what being selfless means? What does it mean to you?
It means that you put others' needs first instead of your need.
And sometimes that's hard to do. Can you think of a time when it was really hard to think of somebody else instead of yourself?
Yes. One time, my mom needed help in the kitchen with the dishes, but I wanted to play with my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put my pleasure aside, and I went to go help my mom in the kitchen.
You're right. That's a good demonstration. And I think that's the one, when it's in our home, that's the one that we see the most opportunity is within our home. That's when it's really hard to do it. It's easy to do it for somebody else, like your neighbor, but sometimes doing it for your mom. And what does it mean? It also means doing something without being asked. Did your mom have to ask you in that case? No, she didn't ask you, did she? You went ahead and volunteered to do it on your own. What does it look like to you, Faith? What does serving selflessly mean to you?
One time I wanted to play with my blocks, but my mom, she asked me to fold my clothes, so I went ahead and I turned to selfless, and then I went to fold my clothes and put them away.
So I'm glad that we're all in training, and that's why we have parents, right? They can help us. Yes, Mariah.
One one time, I was at church and we had 2 lollipops because our friend gave it to us.
Right.
And Faith, it was after dinner, and Faith went to the car to go get them. And so there's a little boy at the church, and I gave him the lollipop.
Instead of wanting it for yourself. That was really kind of you. That's a good example. I think, that helps me thinking of it, of a Bible text. And let's look up Hebrews 13, verse 15 through 16. Would somebody like to help me read it? Hebrews 13, 15 through 16. You want to read it, Angelica?
Sure. Therefore, by him, let us continually offer the sacrifice of praise to God, that is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. But do not forget to do good and to share, for with such sacrifices God is well pleased.
So again, with our praise, we are glorifying who?
God.
God. And when we serve others, we are glorifying who?
God.
So that's a form of praise. When we're helping other people, we're glorifying God. And sometimes we have to think of others before ourselves, but we have to be careful not to go too far, because we could always be in the business of helping others and feel guilty when we don't help others. So there's a balance, because if you always are helping somebody and you're not taking care of your health, then it would be detrimental. And even Jesus had to take time and slept on the boat, right? Or Jesus had to take time away from the crowd that needed his healing. So sometimes there's that balance where we have to be mindful of serving others in a good way, right? And only Jesus can be our example for that. So I want to kind of talk to you. Can we all serve Jesus in the same way? For example, I have something like a salad tong here. I think it's called a salad tong. And this doesn't necessarily fit together, but if it was a salad tong and we have a spatula, can this do what the tongs do? No. This is to help scoop up. This kind of grabs things. This might be a different form of scooping up, like when you're making, I don't know, like I think of ice cream too. Or sometimes you might peel things. So how do you know what God wants us to do? How do you know that we might all serve God differently? How do you know?
Because God has different stuff for us to do.
You're right. He surely does. And I think that comes into our question. Can you read our question for us, Angelica? Our question is, let's see, I think I have the question right here. Can you read it for me?
Our question comes from Mariah from Minnesota. And she asked, what can I do to be more useful to God?
How can I be more useful to God? Now that comes back to our tools that we were talking about. How do you know to be useful for God? That's kind of a hard question.
Whatever he tells you to do, just do it.
Jesus is our example of how we can selflessly serve God. The harvest is great, but the laborers are few. So let's be sure to accept God's call to action. My prayer is that we can all continue to make sacrifices for the sake of others each day. Thanks for joining us on
Kids
Express! And I've got some